This episode of the Totally Uninformed Gaming Show is brought to you by Mac Weldon.
Hello, my friends. Long lines, bad press conferences, awkward moments, altered history, an alleged kidnapping, and worst of all, a lackluster amount of games and announcements. Was this the worst E3 of all time? We're not sure because we weren't there, but we were watching from a distance through the power of Cuban internet. And now we're back to analyze all the stupid shit you were initially excited for until you said to yourself, that's it? What the fuck happened at E3? You're about to find out.
Here we go!
No, you fucking cuck!
Peggy 18.
All right, now let's chicky boom and skip past the bullshit and talk about the biggest issue that rose from the ashes of this once great gaming convention. And no, not that girl that went to Hollywood Park Casino to play poker for 20 hours.
As you do.
I'm sure that was all that she was doing. No, we're talking about the fact that they didn't even announce Last of Us 2 for PlayStation or Animal Crossing for the Nintendo Switch.
What the hell is going on?
Deal breaker, I'm done.
I thought that we got to
Fuck
decide
gaming.
what games they make. And no, we're not even gonna talk about the fact that there weren't really any big surprises aside from the fact that the new Xbox is straight edge, it's liquid cooled, and yeah, it vapes. When we took out our phones after a long day of sipping rum and smoking cigars, it was one story, one offense, so insane that it dominated our timelines. Call of Duty World War DOS was throwing history out the window and letting people play as girls. That's how they do it in Cuba.
Now, obviously, the most unrealistic thing about a Call of Duty game set in World War II is not the fact that you can 360 no-scope with a rifle that should probably become jammed every couple of magazines and then teabag the corpse of the player you just killed. And it definitely isn't the fact that upon dying, your corpse almost instantly disappears and then comes back to life in a different part of the immediate area. No. The most unrealistic thing about a Call of Duty game that takes place in World War II is obviously that a developer would have the audacity to allow players to choose what sex they want their immortal teabagging expletive-spewing soldier to be.
Obviously.
Wow, really just throwing those history books away. You don't need them anymore, kids. Just toss them in the trash. Activision's here to rewrite history.
Rewrite history.
God damn it.
Complaining that being able to play as a female soldier in a modern first-person multiplayer shooter, the fact that that isn't historically accurate, that's probably the weakest argument we've ever heard used, obviously, to mask your hatred of the idea that girls are infiltrating your stupid hobby. I mean, could you make yourselves look more inept at concealing the fact that you feel like your masculinity is so constantly threatened that your argument about a video game where you die multiple times per round is the fact that it's just not realistic enough?
But Ricky, this is pissing on the legacy of our grandfathers who went to war while the women stayed behind and complained.
And like built all of the munitions
Yeah.
and were the nurses that saved lives and
This is what ruins the legacy of World War II, not the fact that there's a long-running gaming franchise that makes it into a fun little thing that kids do.
and profits off it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget all that. Anyway, aside from that and the obvious thrill that these little sociopaths are gonna get from shooting at women once the game actually comes out, what the fuck? I actually love this game.
Yeah.
There's also the ridiculous argument that the history has been altered because the multiplayer aspects of the game don't feature swastikas, and that the devs decided to replace them with iron crosses instead. Ah, how unrealistic.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, the iron cross is a Nazi symbol, so hey, it's at least somewhat accurate. It's just not as in your face as the swastika symbol is.
Yeah. It's very striking.
It's the alt-light, not the alt-right.
Yeah. It's a good, it's like a nice warm Beppis instead of a nice cold Pepsi.
Yeah, what's the difference? You
Yeah.
can't tell. Blind taste test 90% of the time. They'll take the Beppis.
Yeah, exactly. Four out of five dentists agree that the Iron Cross is almost as significant as the swastika.
Yeah. Also, I don't think soldiers were running around with full-on swastikas on in a lot of these situations.
Oh no, it was like one of those all-over print shirts, but
Yeah.
it was just a swastika.
Hey, we're Nazis! No.
I'm the bad guy.
So yeah, how the hell am I even supposed to play this game when I can't stop thinking about the ultimate symbol of death and destruction constantly whizzing by my face in a blur as I sprint towards the action, dual wielding some submachine gun?
Woo!
It's just not immersive anymore, guys.
I can't
Close
believe
up
it.
the shop.
I lived through World War II. I know exactly how it
Yeah.
was. Now, listen. Maybe you've already typed your shitty comments about how there shouldn't be female characters and then closed the video because we're just a bunch of social justice warriors simply because we don't give a shit what devs put in their games to make them more entertaining and engaging to a wider fan base with the entire intention of making money off people that wouldn't have otherwise picked the game up. Whatever. But if you're still here, please, for the love of all that is still good in the world, don't say that you can't possibly understand why Activision would make the insane decision to not include swastikas in this game. You have to be better than that.
Yeah. Oh, hello?
Yeah.
Yes, it's me, every game developer and publisher's favorite thing and ultimate goal. I am a giant wad of cash.
Yes.
Now, putting the fact that games with swastikas can't be sold in certain countries aside, certain countries like Germany, who buy a lot of games, let's focus on what we always focus on. America. A Call of Duty, although not as big as some games, is a pretty big game for esports competition. They have tournaments across the country and across the world constantly, which include major teams with major sponsors. The events themselves have sponsors, and they get a lot of that money because the viewers, like you, they watch people compete live on the internet or in person. Do you honestly think that Activision would want to make it that fucking hard to sell sponsorships to one of their biggest esports properties in the name of historical accuracy?
Oh, hey, Mr. Activision here. Hello, Doritos, Mountain Dew, T-Mobile. Oh, what's that? Oh, you don't want to sponsor this year's Call of Duty championship because you don't want your brand's logo on a screen or during the breaks between a game where swastikas are constantly on the screen? Oh, well, oh no, that's actually pretty obvious. I'm sorry that I'm a smart executive and not a idiot 14-year-old boy with a Twitter account.
But it's a cool looking symbol.
Yeah, do you see it goes like this?
Oh,
And
there-
whoa.
It actually means peace in Buddhism.
Yeah, they should have just switched it around and like 90% of the people wouldn't have
Yeah.
known. Still, it's, the Doritos. Just like swastika, guy getting stabbed in the neck, Doritos.
Yeah.
The thing that all brands want. What
Yeah.
we learned from the YouTube adpocalypse is that there's nothing that brands want more than
Direct
violent
association with Nazis.
Yeah. Direct association with Nazis and violence.
Yeah.
Of course.
Lighten up, advertisers.
Jeez.
Anyway, whatever. Every single person that was passionate enough to complain online about what they see as real atrocities.
Those were the real atrocities in World War II.
The Holocaust was bad, but when they put girls in a World War II game,
That's
that
probably
was
worse.
it.
Yeah, that's the final
Bye-bye
straw.
humanity.
Yeah.
Bye-bye Western civilization.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow. You're gonna buy the fucking game anyway, probably.
Yeah.
They're just, you're just frustrated because no one gives a shit about what you think or what you say.
Yeah.
We've been more offended by the game taking place in the future than any of the small pointless inaccuracies present in the World War II version. So just shut up and let us get to the weird moments that defined E3. And we would be leaving out the stupidest moment right now, right off the bat, if we did not mention the incredible example of schadenfreude that we experienced when YouTube creator Jesse Wellens took the stage at this year's EA press conference. He wasn't on stage actually. He was in the crowd because he's a man of people.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. I would have done a great job.
E3 boys and E3 girls. My name's Jimmy.
Jimmy here.
I'm a YouTube creator.
Need for Speed. But Jimmy, tell us about the cars. Now, back to Jesse. In the most clear-cut example of stop hiring YouTubers to do real work outside of their bedrooms, that has out of all of this year so far, there
Yeah.
could be more coming down the line. The camera cut to YouTube prankster Jesse Wellens, who was apparently experiencing technical difficulties with his teleprompter, and well, far be it for him to read through and possibly memorize the 30 seconds of dialogue needed to introduce just one of the people who worked on the game. With swagger that can only be described as depressing, and while looking and dressing like the quintessential millennium dork that your parents use as a straw man to argue on Facebook that the youth of today are weak, he spun around to deliver the following message.
What up, guys? Thank you for having me, EA. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Jesse Wellens, and I am a YouTube creator. So I am here to talk about Need for Speed Payback. If you guys didn't know, Need for Speed Payback, yeah, it's a great game. But all right, all set aside, I'm a YouTube creator. Need for Speed Payback is coming out I got my boy Marcus, executive producer here. He is the producer of the game. Thank you, Nick, for having me.
Hey man, thanks Jesse. Obviously we're really excited to tell everyone about Need for Speed Payback here today.
Man, remembering people's names is fucking hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
You know what? Filling 30 seconds, an impossible task.
Man.
I don't know how people
Need
do
for
it.
Speed. It's a game. Anyway, really, we thought that was gonna be it this year. What could possibly top an extremely wealthy YouTuber looking like a deer in the headlights and not being able to play off a tech error by either being better prepared or just winging it? Well, the Darwin Project esports guy can top that.
He sure can.
Jethro Tull.
With the blind enthusiasm of someone within the company that just knows this game is gonna be a huge esports hit, he took the stage to do a live reenactment of what it might look and sound like to be in the middle of a massive tournament being watched by millions for this Overwatch ripoff.
And yeah, he's still talking to that giant crowd of people at E3 they're fucking bewildered. They don't know why he's up there doing this.
And
the
of
game's
course-
not even live.
Of course, we all know that all the people out there are watching this on Microsoft's newest platform, Mixer, the best platform for live streaming. You can control what I say. Anyways, here's the clip.
One player remaining.
And what a play from the Wounded Warrior. She was caught in a trap, but she used superior tactics to get herself out of there. She's going to take the win. Let's move on to the next arena. Here we're following Bloody Marrow. There's only 2 players left in this particular map. Those tracks are leading up, but that tree is going to give them direct information. That red outline, there's a mortal unicorn, and he's letting in about 100 meters away now. Looks like he might be crafting or something, but what is this that Bloody Marrow's going to do? Getting ever closer, drawing that beeline, and now he's going to cloak it up. Is he going to walk in through the front door or what? Looks like he's going to sneak in on the back window. Here we go. Shot in the back. That's one, twice. Immortal's in trouble. Somebody from Mixer decided to chime in. That invincibility bubble's going to help him out and put on the fight of his life. There we go. The nice strike on Bloody Marrow. Bouncing it up forward. There we go. Oh, that was going to do the damage to the arrow to the belly. That's going to be the win for Bloody Marrow. Bloody Marrow wins the round.
Yeah, so you really just have to enjoy the fact that this was clearly something that the people behind the game could have very easily have either pre-recorded the audio to, or at the very least, done from backstage. But no, that's not how the Darwin Project rolls. It is survival of the fittest, after all. So there he was, up on stage, elevated over the crowd,
Where he belongs.
screaming into the microphone, as if we are all caught up in the minutia within this game that
Oh, I know
doesn't
everything that's
exist.
going on.
Hey guys,
Literally
here's a-
just announced.
Yeah.
yeah. Also, we love the not-so-subtle nod to Microsoft's proprietary streaming platform Mixer and how viewers can control some aspects of the match live.
That was,
Bravo.
and on Mixer, they're doing this. It's like, buddy. We'll see how that pans
Yeah,
out.
we all love games.
Yeah. Aside from all of that, it was pretty boring. Let's be honest. There's some VR versions of Bethesda games, but they're full price, and the only people that will buy them are fans who already own several copies of the game.
Nah.
Pass. Also, I don't like the teleporting thing.
Yeah, dumb.
Good news. Rocket League is coming to the Nintendo Switch by the end of the year.
All right.
As a self-proclaimed Nintendo Switch fanboy, that has me excited.
It's a good game.
Rocket League?
Yeah.
Of course it is. It's a great game.
It is.
They're doing, what is it? PlayStation doesn't want to do cross-platform?
Yeah.
Dumb.
Real jerks.
Yeah. Jerks. Also, they're doing Skyrim on the Switch. You can buy that one more time. You get the VR Skyrim, get the regular Skyrim, get the Switch Skyrim. You can you play as Link.
I have the sword of Link.
And you swing it and it does the thing.
It looks really out of place in the world of Skyrim.
Again,
The colors are too saturated.
there's like the big noticeable lack of obviously Animal Crossing. Everyone wanted Animal Crossing. Everybody wanted Last of Us 2. And man, I'll be damned if they didn't announce everything that everyone had hoped for. And also, there was a girl that the internet was sure had been kidnapped, only to find out that she drunkenly snuck away to a casino for a marathon poker sesh. Or maybe she didn't. Who knows?
It was all a social experiment to find out who the white knights and who the dickheads were.
Yeah.
Because Twitter divided into two very, very different, diametrically opposed groups.
And they
then-
flip-flopped.
and
They
then
flip-flopped.
flipped.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a real test of humanity. I hope the psychiatrists up in the big universities were paying attention, taking notes.
And a lot of those tweets still up, because why would I delete an inaccurate tweet with 25,000 retweets? Puh. Anyway.
Dumb.
But hey, we all know what you're really here for. What would a video about E3 be without a review? How will you know whether you liked what you saw this year unless someone else tells you your opinion? Well, luckily we have Shibby ready to attack. But before we get to him, here's a quick message from this week's sponsoring advertiser, Mac Weldon.
Yeah.
What?
That's called a lead-in.
Hashtag sponsor.
Yeah, it's a cliffhanger. Mac Weldon is a premium men's essential brand that believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping. Mac Weldon has a limited edition line of silver underwear and shirts that are naturally antimicrobial.
Mac Weldon wants you to be comfortable, so if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it. They'll still refund you. Time limits may apply though. Just follow the instructions in the My Account section after receiving your order.
Mac Weldon underwear, socks, and shirts look good, and they're good for working out, going to work, going on dates, just everyday life. If you go to MacWeldon.com, you can get 20% off using promo code MACETC. That is MACKETC. So thank you for sponsoring the show. Check them out.
But yeah, let's get Shibby in here because he was actually there, on site, in person, in America, in Los Angeles, at E3, living and breathing this convention. So if anyone can accurately portray it, set the stage for me, and rate it, it's this guy.
All right.
Bring him in. Wheel him in.
What about promo code Shibby?
No, you are not allowed to have sponsors.
Shit.
Oh yeah, you putting your payment in there already? Who's paying you off this time, shill? Should be Shilby.
I'll tell you.
Shilby. Shilby.
Mixer.
Shilby. Oh, it is Mixer. You can play the game.
You can decide what I say.
Yeah, I just got it. If you're watching this live on Mixer, you decide what Shibby says.
No one's watching. All right, cool.
Mixer plays Shibby.
Decide what props I get hit with. Like,
Yeah. That's a fidget spinner.
God. Thanks, Mixer.
Thanks, Mixer.
Tugs boys and Tugs girls,
And
this
Mix-
week I have returned to give the most ethical thoughts on the most lit video gaming event of the year, the Electronic Entertainment Expo,
Nice
known
shirt, by
best.
the way.
Thank you. It's a classic. Known best as E3.
Remember Machinima?
Props back here. I do. You guys left, I heard. By the way, this will be my review of the experience this year. For the first time in history of the show, E3 was open to the public to purchase tickets. These tickets range in prices from $150 for the first 1,000 sold, then $250 as a standard, and then nearly $1,000 if you bought on-site for the 3-day show floor pass.
Hey guys,
What
we're kickstarting E3 this year.
a goddamn deal, right? Let's imagine this scenario. You hear this is the first E3 that you can attend. You bust out that credit card, grab a 3-day pass for the event, and get here to Los Angeles, California by whatever means possible, depending on where you're from, what hotel you stay at. Factor in food and drink. This is a huge expense. Maybe you need to take off work, which is an added stress, but you're here. Stress. But you're here. In bright and sunny SoCal, you made it. Well, not so fast. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed E3 attendee. No, you cannot attend the Sony or Microsoft press conference, stroll into Bethesda land, certainly not play any game your heart desires. For example, between 2010 and 2016, the typical attendance for the event was around 50,000 people. Now, that might seem like a big number, right, Ricky? I don't know. But this is usually only industry people.
Like you.
Yeah, important people who have meeting spaces upstairs or exhibitors, people working at the expo booths. Usually people who are not showing up all 3 days like
Sucking Blizzard's dick.
like sales or marketing people. Yeah, like Blizzard barely shows up. Think of it as 50,000 people who are excited to be there. Oh yeah, but not quite super excited first time going, console drooling, mountain diet drinking, Tostito roll eating gamers who will be at the event from start to finish for all 3 days. An additional 15,000 people who don't have the means to cut lines or go to closed door previews. A shame, I know. Where do these people go, you ask, Shibby?
To the parties?
No.
Wait, you mean I can't go to the parties?
That's the that
You can't. You mean I can't like rub shoulders with Shibby?
Twitch, why didn't you invite me to your party, man? Anyways, they will be in the halls where it's all flooded, lines at the kiosks, waiting hours to play one of these new games for a few minutes. Do most of these people buying these public passes know they cannot attend the conferences in person or the ability to play every game not included? It's not. Probably not, which is Shibby really a surprise with Shitty Criminal?
Wait,
Shitty
wow.
What?
That might be the worst execution to date.
Shitty criddle.
I wrote it that way.
But yeah, wait, hold on. Probably not, which is a really shibby surprise, which shitty criminal. Wow. Wow.
E3 literally killed brain cells.
Yeah.
It did.
I like the idea that people paid $1,000 to just go look at billboards.
Yeah, if you had to buy your pass on site, it was $995.
A steal. A $5 discount off of the online sale.
You would think that E3 would be hours of gaming fun as a public attendee, when it's actually hours of waiting in lines. The show floor this year was chaos. More than any year that I've attended since 2012. As well, the booths this year, not organized at all.
The boobs were bad.
Booth babes, there was no booth babes. The booths this year were not organized for fans, like they just weren't thinking. As press or media at E3, there was basically no room to do the conventional microphone cameraman setup to film any updates or first impressions. Say I want to do a T.U.G.S review of Ubisoft's Skull and Bones or the Rabbids Mario game. Well, too bad. It's too fucking loud and people would just walk in front of the camera. It's too fucking crowded to go anywhere to do coverage at any place. Another critique or complaint I have is the security at this year's E3 was abysmal. For real. The people at the doors barely glanced at the passes, most likely because they're too distracted by my long neck.
That's because you put 100 in there, they just take it out. Oh yeah, come right this way.
As well as they never asked the CID to match the name that was printed on the badge. Like, for example, this is Phil's from upstairs, so whatever. Sure, security checking every badge would change the experience outside the hall and there'd be a bunch of lines. Yeah. Well, however, with all the random acts of violence lately, I would have hoped this would have been considered. But shibby, what about the press needing to get to appointments? Freak out. Simple, have a separate media entrance per hall to make badge checking a breeze.
All right, we're not asking how to improve it, but
I'm reviewing
what games
E3.
did you like?
I'll get to that. There was also minimal checking of backpacks or bags, which is another huge security risk. No metal detectors,
Please hire me,
anything.
E3.
Honestly, a bit shocking.
I can't wait for you to leave video games behind and become an event coordinator.
This is ethical. Gotta stay safe out there, T.U.G.S boys, and thankfully nothing happened. Next year will be a bit more buttoned up for everyone's safety. Remember, if you see something, like Sean Murray, say something. For the next T.U.G.S, I will review the games and consoles I saw at E3, as well as the press conferences, but for now, I must rate E3 2017 a 0 out of 2 because Ricky and Elliot fled the country to avoid E3, which makes me #sad.
But wasn't it a good idea in retrospect?
I
can't read without my glasses. Hold on. Well, that's all we have for you this week. We will get back to the Amazon reviews very soon, but in the meantime, just enjoy the fact that you got an episode of T.U.G.S on Monday instead of having to wait all week. And maybe we'll do another one this week, because it'd be really weird if we waited for him to do his games review of E3 for 2 weeks after the
Remember that thing from 2 weeks ago?
Whatever, it's good to be back, and we did an episode early because it was all thanks to our sponsor, Mac Weldon. There's a link in the description for them. Then go buy some merch at etcmerch.com, and then watch our awesome documentary about fidget spinners.
Oh, I'm cured.
etcmerch.com.
Not e3merch.com, etcmerch.com. Bye.
Electronic Entertainment Expo.